Now with the latest afternoon headlines, it's the ITV Lunchtime News.
Good afternoon, I'm Faye Barker. The government is insisting household energy bills will remain capped through the winter, despite pressure from suppliers facing soaring wholesale gas prices. But industry leaders are warning they too need a cap to protect them from the increased costs, or they'll have to stop production, putting jobs at risk. The Business Secretary, Kwasi Kwarteng, says he's working on a plan, but there is confusion this lunchtime over whether he'll have the financial support of the Treasury. Our political reporter Shihab Khan has more.
The price of wholesale gas continues to rise, and the impact on businesses large and small is becoming apparent. Industries which rely heavily on energy have told the government the factories could be weeks away from closing, and today the Business Secretary said he was talking to them.
We are talking all the time to industry about what the best way forward is. And clearly we recognise that this is a global problem. We've got very, very high gas prices, very high electricity prices. We already have supports in place for industries, and we're looking at ways that we can help industry.
He also said he was engaging with the Treasury on how they can help, but ITV News has been told that the Treasury are not involved in any talks. So far, since the crisis began, there's been no new additional support for industries, and many, including those in the steel sector, say time is running out.
If government does nothing, we would start to see job losses in the steel sector. We need action now, not in the next months and few months or up till Christmas, because if we don't see action now, then we will, as a steel sector, not have a Christmas to look forward to.
They say they've submitted a number of proposals, including a price cap for businesses, which is similar to what we have for normal consumers. Today, the government insisted that price cap, which is in place for customers, will stay, despite pressure from some suppliers. It is, however, expected to rise next spring, and this energy boss says the government should plan to help those who will need it most.
I don't think anybody's looking for bailouts for energy company or subsidies for energy companies. I think what we probably do need to look at is there enough money in the system to protect the most vulnerable households? They're seeing a massive cost of living increase, and if it is a cold winter, then there's millions of households that are going to need extra help.
Labour say the government should have seen this coming and should have been working on it in advance.
The truth is we need to have a plan and they need to get on with it. But also the truth is we shouldn't be in a situation where we wait until there's a crisis and then react.
The government says protecting consumers is their priority. But as the crisis rumbles on, pressure is now mounting on all sides for extra support. Shihab Khan, ITV News.
The Home Office says more than 1,000 people got into small boats and made the dangerous trip across the English Channel to the UK in the last 2 days. The French government has admitted it could do more, but says it's still waiting on €63 million promised by Britain in July to invest in policing the waters. The UK has been named one of the world's most nature-depleted countries. A new study puts us in the bottom 10% when it comes to maintaining native diversity of plant and animal life. Scientists warn a lack of biodiversity raises the risk that new pests or diseases could lead to shortages in food, energy and materials.
But now it's escalated because they've taken to damaging that property.
And TV presenter Chris Packham says he won't buckle under the relentless abuse he receives for campaigning for the environment. He shared photos on Twitter showing a car he says was set on fire outside his front gates in the early hours of Friday, leaving the gates charred. On to sport now, and Tyson Fury says he is now one of boxing's greatest after retaining his WBC heavyweight title in Las Vegas early this morning. He delivered a knockout blow to his American opponent, Deontay Wilder, in the 11th round, but at times during the thrilling bout, it was Fury who looked in trouble. For the details, here's Helen Keenan.
It was a war this warrior was determined to win. Dressed in a Spartan outfit, singing to AC/DC. A very relaxed Tyson Fury, watched on by his wife, as he stepped into the ring, ready to take on Deontay Wilder. After a shaky start for Fury, an action-packed first few rounds resulted in Wilder ending up on the floor. The American, though, remained defiant. Next, it was Fury's turn to be knocked down.
Wilder forward.
It was a showcase on both sides of brute force and sharp skills, but it was Fury who began to dominate. In the 8th round, Wilder was almost down again, and by the 10th, he was. His fight for glory ending in the 11th and penultimate round, a knockout by Tyson Fury, who retained his WBC title.
I know the greatest heavyweight of my era, without a doubt. Number one, number uno. Look what I've done. I came to America my last 6 fights and fought the most devastating puncher in the history of our sport. Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Tyson Fury!
The Gypsy King declared champion in an exhilarating battle between 2 gladiators of the sport. Helen Keenan, ITV News.
That's it for now. The evening news is at 6:30. Until then, have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.